JunkGuysdfw.net, guys. It's Ricardo. This is how to evict somebody and the steps to an eviction. So today I was actually driving home when I got a phone call from a young lady not knowing what her steps were, how to hire somebody. So I'm going to tell you the main reasons why someone gets evicted. Okay. The first reason is, and the most popular is they have late or unpaid rent. They haven't paid it in a long time. They're smoking on a no-clause smoking property. Maybe they have pets on the property with a no-pet clause. Most of the time, they have too many tenants that the property is allowed, or they're illegally subletting. That means letting someone else stay there and pay the rent. Maybe there's illegal activity like gambling, selling drugs, a strip joint on the property. That's not allowed. Maybe a bar. That's not allowed either. Or you're intentionally damaging to the property. Okay, you're damaging the property, and that's just not allowed. You can get evicted for many other reasons, but those are the main reasons why people get evicted. How long does an eviction process take? It takes 3 weeks. 3 days from notice to vacant to filing of the suit. Okay, that is the first step. The second step, you have 8 to 10 days to serve the citation. That means the owner has 8 to 10 days to serve the citation. So what the owner does is get a piece of paper and says, hey, you have a notice to vacate. Here's the filing of the suit. They give it to the owner. Now, how do they give it to the renter? Okay, the owner gives it to the renter. How? She can tape it, she can mail it, or she can hand it to them. And that paper says that you need to vacate. And here's the filing of a suit. They have legal binding authority that they've gone to court, and now you're being served to get out of there. Okay? Here's what happened. The constable has 8 to 10 days to actually serve you the ticket, which is a citation. They serve you the ticket and they say you need to be here in less than 6 to 10 days to court, or you're getting evicted. Most of the time, the renter does not show up. Never show up, okay? It's a rarity that they do show up. If they do show up, they actually file paperwork with the court to stay a little longer, and the judge sometimes grants it or sometimes doesn't. But most of the time, when they don't show up, the owner wins. That means they got to go, and here's where the process really starts. The owner of the property has to find a company like me, a junk removal company, that will actually go in and evict somebody. But this comes with the price. Sometimes it's a small price, but sometimes it's a big price. But I will tell you, to go to the property, you will have to take a constable, because the constable is there to be aware that there's nobody inside the house. So he usually schedules the eviction from 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning. So let's just pretend. January the 1st, 2023, you have won the lawsuit, and that's the day that the constable tells you he's available for the eviction. You have hired a company like me to go and do the eviction. Here's what happens. The police officers will come to the door, and this is really what it looks like right here. These are 2 incidents where the property is now yours, and the constable shows up. These are 2 evictions that I went to, one in Dallas and one in Mesquite, Texas. And both of these evictions, nobody was home. There was no problem. So what the police officer does now is go knock on the door. If he cannot open the door, he calls this guy, the key guy. And this guy usually opens it legally, but you got to pay him. See, you are already paying these guys. You have to pay this guy to show up. And I think he runs about $175 an hour. Ooh. And then you hired a company like me. Whoa. All right. And then now you got a key guy. So you got $175 there. He'll breach the door at about a $125 to open the door. Now, if you don't want to hire this guy, the key guy, you don't have to. You can get somebody like me, and I will kick the door open. I've done it plenty of times. If you notice, there's not a key guy here because I kicked that door open. And I've kicked the door open many times. I've also used crowbars to open the door. So there's so many other ways to open the door, but it's forced entry, and it is legal if the owner gives you permission to, the owner of the house. Now, there's only been a few incidents in the past where the owner is actually home, and that is called an eviction from hell. That is where the home renter, the renter, which is the owner of the house, I mean the owner of who's staying on the property right now, he's considered the renter, where the renter is home. And now the police officers have a problem. I'm going to show you what happened. This happened in Keller, Texas, in 2021. I want to show you this. Guys, there are so many ways that something can happen. This was the paperwork that was put outside by the lady. She says she had help from the CDC, blah, blah, blah. There she is. And there's the constable that came with us that day. And we ran into the problem, like she didn't want to leave the property. She was outside faking that she was hurt. She needed air. This was a big deal. This prevented a lot of people from making money. Well, prevented a lot of people from actually leaving, because the police officers showed up, the fire department showed up, and there's me interviewing her, and she had a lot to say. Trust me, she had a lot to say about the owners. As a matter of fact, I interviewed the owner, and he's the owner of the house. At this point, I want to make it clear what was going on. I was only putting the trash outside. Okay, I was only grabbing the trash and putting it outside, and I was coming the next day. To remove everything. Okay. To me, apparently she had a mental problem. She didn't want to leave the property. She was very hesitant. Of course, she faked an injury, faked a health problem right here. And then we ran into a lot of situations. But here's the trash that we set outside. This took a little longer. We set this outside now, all legally. While this runs, I'm going to tell you what the constable tells us what to do. The constable, when he breaches the door, he goes and he checks inside. And then he says, I need you to put everything that's valuable outside. Okay? Anything that has some kind of value to it, put it outside. For instance, paper's not going to have much of a value, okay? Like a piece of paper, a pen, a cup, a broken flower pot's not going to have much of a value at all. So you don't have to lay that stuff outside, okay? Couches, refrigerators, sofas, TVs, bedroom sets, bunk beds, mattresses. Those are the kind of things that we set outside, and when we set it outside, we put it in order. It's out there on the driveway in order. We just don't toss stuff out. And here's some pictures of us putting trash outside. So it's kind of, clean trash, put it out there. All the little stuff that was inside, we didn't have to mess with it. We didn't go and, nitpick little things, pick up paper clips or pieces of trash. There's paper out there on the driveway on this one. This was a total mess. This was awful. I remember this one. That one's in Fort Worth, Texas. But only things of value. Now, this is what happens after 24 hours. I want to be able to show you this picture. This one's really important. It's scattered. Why? Because after 24 hours, there's a whole day that goes by that people are anybody, it's an open market. It's like a free flea market, can go and rummage through it. Okay. I set it out there. Boom. And usually how I work is I give the lady a price. I walk in there and I said, the whole eviction is going to cost you $5,000. And she'll say, okay, I need you to do it. My team will go in and place everything out on the curb. Everything will go out on the curb. Then after everything that's valuable, and I get permission from the constable, is this okay? And if the constable says yes, that's fine. Then me and my crew will leave and we'll go home. We will make our own schedule whenever it's to come back and finish the job. When we come back, we will finish the job. Now, this is clean junk. We just set that out there. We just set this stuff out there. This is clean junk. If you notice, we put it on one of our trailers and we came, because we knew this person wasn't coming back. But this is what happened on one eviction that we came back, people had rummaged through it, or the owner came back and rummaged through their own trash and got the valuable things. But overall, they left a lot of junk everywhere. Usually, when we come back, about 80% of the trash that we left prior is still there. Okay? We've never came back and it's all gone. That just doesn't happen. And I've done a lot of evictions. Okay? Then, the next day, 24 hours come by. Now it's Tuesday morning. Everything goes. The constable will not show up. He's gone. His job is done. But we have to show up and we finish the job and we clean everything off. Then we get paid for our services. Then the honest homeowner, the guy who owns this property, will actually keep the property and it is clean. That's how an eviction works in Texas. And that's how our eviction process works too. We really have two jobs, okay? We do two jobs for one house. Every eviction is two jobs. One job is to place the stuff outside, then come back the next day and grab the stuff in our trucks or our trailers and dispose of it. And our price is whatever price we want. Because whatever price you charge, if you're a junk removal company or an eviction company, whatever your price you charge, it's what you charge. I charge this company, this one was $7,000 right here. This eviction was $7,000. And this one was from hell. Oh, this one was $8,500. This one was $8,500. This was worse than the other one. This one was only $5,000. And we came back the next day and then we got paid. So the first day we don't really get paid anything. It's the next day. Oh, this one was only $2,500. So this was one of the cheapest ones I've ever done. It was $2,500. We just put it outside and then we came back the next day and took everything. So that's how we work. Okay, we don't charge anything the first day because we know inside that we're going to make money. Eventually, we're going to make money anyway. The lady needs the stuff gone. So I tried to explain this today to the young lady who called me, and she said she was going to go with us. She right now has filed a suit. She means she's gone. She gave him the paperwork. She's at this process. She's at this step in the eviction process. She's at step like 2. She's already gave him the paperwork. The 3 days have gone by. The constable came in the 9th day and gave them a citation. And the court date was set already between 6 to 10 days. The citation was set for 30 days out. And then the court date for the owner and the renter, and that's where she's at right now. She's there. I don't know what day that is, but she said that the court date is like April the 1st, and then she's hoping they're gone, and her next available day is April the 4th to do this eviction, to make this mess. And I'm like, well, ma'am, I'm going to tell you something. This is what I told her. Just get ready for a real dump when you see your place. Because I've never done an eviction where it was nothing, where there was no charge or there wasn't a lot of trash. Every eviction is not cheap. Every eviction costs money, and it's a lot for a business owner or an owner or a landlord to spend a lot of money to get the eviction and then turn around and have to pay us to finish the whole process. And that's how an eviction works. Guys, woo! I was just thinking, through the whole process, I'm trying to think all the stuff that's happened to me in the past few years with evictions. But evictions are a very profitable business for us. We've done them a lot of times. We've done a lot of evictions in the last 15 years that I've been doing junk removal. So when someone calls for them, I'm open to do it because I know I'm going to make money long term. And I think I learned from the first day that I ever did one that these come in droves, and then they just disappear. It's like a desert. You won't get any for a long time. But when they're coming, they come fast. Okay. The first time I ever did one, I charged the lady the first day and then charged her the second day. And as I got more evictions and as my business was growing, I decided to, just make it a one-step process, make it easy for everyone. And everyone agrees. Everyone is okay with it. We just do one-step process. We show up on a Monday. We do everything. Then we really get paid on Tuesday when we take everything. That's how I do my evictions. And that's what I try to express to the lady that was on the phone today, how an eviction process works. Okay? When most of these, don't forget guys, that most of these landlords, most of these owners, business property owners or apartment owners or apartment managers, this is their first time ever doing this. So it's a lot for them to take when I show up. They have already filed paperwork, they've gone to court, they've hired a police officer, and now he's telling them what they need to do, and then they turn around and they're going to spend thousands of dollars with me. So imagine what kind of stress, anxiety, problems it causes people to lose sleep. So it's a big step that they're taking in life to do an eviction. It's a big step, okay? Well, anyway, I thought this would help, guys. Don't forget, if you like my channel, subscribe. Subscribe, please. Hit the little bell. That will notify you every time I post a video. And long term, it helps me out with YouTube. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.